After discussing all the conceptual and theoretical part about the knowledge creation and understanding that how we can develop and nurture the knowledge creation into our business and nurture the intellectual capital, let us throw some light on some of the case studies and best practices in order to just have a better understanding of the concept. I have brought some real world examples before you in order to discuss some very successful knowledge management implementation. So first example is Procter and Gamble. Procter and Gamble is very widely recognized for its effective knowledge management practice. They implemented the knowledge sharing platform called Connect Plus Develop. That is Connect Plus Develop. It encouraged the collaboration both internally as well as externally. What happened here is that they invited the brains, the expertise, the knowledge to come together, share, exchange of ideas, and then develop and grow, and it allowed the growth and development of each and every one. So here, by leveraging the collective expertise of its employees and external partners, Procter & Gamble, they accelerated the product development, leading to a very successful innovations, maybe like Swiffer and Febreze, and we know the story. Another example is NASA. NASA has a very long history of very successful knowledge management, especially in context of space exploration. I hope all of you are already aware of this. NASA is quite famous in itself. So that what happened that this agency, it employs sophisticated knowledge sharing platforms to documents, and it disseminates the information about the space missions, research and engineering. This approach has been very important in ensuring that knowledge is transferred effortlessly across generations of scientists and engineers. You never know, we cannot count that how many people got the benefit of this kind of dissemination. That is, they just they have a platform where they document and disseminate this to the to everyone who are in close connect with the space missions or research or engineering, and this way they have successfully enhanced the knowledge distribution also, learning through that. Another example is Microsoft. Their knowledge management involves a combination of technological tools and cultural practices. That is, it uses its internal platform, Microsoft Teams, for collaboration and knowledge sharing. So here, they are using, they are collaborating as well as sharing. So they are adopting also, and they are distributing also. And additionally, Microsoft fosters a culture that encourages employees to share their knowledge openly. There are no restrictions in that, contributing to a dynamic and very innovative work environment, because by doing this, all the workers, the people on this platform, when they are exchanging their ideas and their experiences and their learnings, this way they are distributing and developing each other, not themselves, they are also developing others, and from others' knowledge and experiences, they are developing themselves. Another example can also be Toyota. It is renowned for its commitment to continuous improvement and knowledge sharing. So, the production system, the Toyota production system emphasizes the learning from the experiences and sharing knowledge across all levels of organizations. So, it has played a very important role in Toyota's success in manufacturing, as well as they have also emulated many other companies also at the same time. So, they have improvised their knowledge by, learning with experiences and sharing those experiences across all the levels of the organization. So, the others don't have to experiment in that domain. They take it from the experienced layers of the people in the organization. So, these examples, they illustrate that successful knowledge management is often a result, we can say, result of a combination of technology, conducive and positive culture and environment, and strategic alignment also with the organizational goal. Because when you implement the effective knowledge management system in your organization and lay down the specific guidelines or structure that how this knowledge has to be managed, spread out and shared to different layers, to different people, it will, it can significantly, enhance the innovation, decision making and overall organization performance of the organization. So, if you are starting up a new business or already you are running a business, you must create a network, or maybe a structure in such a way so that the knowledge is through and through distributed, shared, exchanged to the maximum to all the layers in the organization, and not only internally but from the external sources also, and from the external sources also, in order to make, best from the others' lessons and mistakes and maybe their experiences. Next, some examples are maybe we can learning from the failures. Some examples we take up that how failures can be good masters. Maybe, and not only failures but also the challenges also. Sometime when you face those challenges, you just tackle those challenges, they become good masters. So, one of the example we come up with here is Xerox Corporation. What happened in 1970s, rather 1970s and 1980s, Xerox company, it faced a very significant challenge in leveraging its pioneering research and development efforts. At the time when, notably the invention of the graphical user interface, that is, we call it GUI, and the mouse. What happened that despite these groundbreaking innovations, they struggled still to capitalize on them very effectively. They could not come out with good results. So ultimately, this led to missed opportunities. That is, they could not make a good share in the marketplace. They could not stand in the market in comparison to their competitors like Apple and Microsoft, who were doing much better in the same domain, on the same products and in the same services. So here their failure, when they failed, the failure in knowledge management at Xerox underscores the importance of not only generating innovative ideas, but also effectively implement them within the organization. Their experience highlights the need for robust knowledge a transfer mechanism, and a culture that encourages the adoption of internal innovation in order to prevent the valuable insights from becoming the missed opportunities. Because maybe they did not share it well, maybe they did not discuss it well, maybe they just produced and they just tried to capture the market, tap the market without without acquiring knowledge in that domain. Maybe from their competitors, maybe from their other stakeholders and other users, and they miss the opportunities. Whereas Microsoft and Apple, they did much better. They were way ahead. Another case we can understand from NASA's Challenger disaster. The Challenger space shuttles, the Challenger space shuttle disaster in 1986. It serves as a poignant example of consequences of not learning from failures in knowledge management. Actually, what happened is the failure of an O-ring in the Challenger's solid rocket booster was a critical technical issue. But the knowledge of this flaw or this shortcoming was not effectively communicated to others within NASA. There was no discussion, exchange, or maybe sharing of this part within NASA. So the Challenger disaster emphasizes that the importance of knowledge sharing and communication within the organization is also very important. Here, in this case, engineers' concerns about the O-ring were not adequately communicated to decision makers, and what happened that there was a tragic failure, and it underscores the significance of creating an open and transparent knowledge sharing culture, maybe in order to ensure that critical information is conveyed to those who need it. Maybe because if they would have shared, then the other party or the other people who needed this information, they would have come up with solution, or they would have come up with the flaws, identifying the flaws, and help them, suggest them that how to work it otherwise, or maybe how to be more with different ideas, how to develop it or meet out those challenge or failure. But that did not happen, and in that case it completely failed. Another good example existing is of Kodak. That is, Kodak, they missed digital transformation. Now, how that happened? Kodak's failure to embrace the digital transformation, despite that they were the pioneers in digital camera technology, it is a cautionary tale. One must learn lesson from this. The company, they struggle to manage their intellectual capital effectively. They were struggling with that, and therefore they missed the opportunity, and eventually it led to their decline. So here we can understand that how critical, how important it is that their their knowledge management strategies need to be, they are needed to be evolved. And because knowledge here is not limited to sharing of knowledge, but they have to have the knowledge of the evolving technologies as well as the market trends. So the whole example or the case, it underscores that the critical need for organizations to adapt their knowledge management strategies to evolving technologies and market trends. It's very important. One must understand that. So we can say that in these cases, the lessons that learned, they revolve around the need for effective knowledge transfer, communication and organizational learning also. Learning from failure is knowledge management. Learning from failure in knowledge management, actually it involves knowledging the challenges or learning from the challenges and adapting the strategies in order to overcome those challenges. And how do we develop the strategies? That strategies must be developed to implement a mechanism to ensure that that valuable knowledge should be disseminated. It should be not only internalized but also utilized across the organization. Whatever failures or whatever mistakes that have been made or that have been already committed should be elaborated and should be taken as a learning step for developing further strategies in order to not to repeat them and how to overcome them also. And so this should be disseminated throughout the organization so that it is not repeated again. So these examples, they highlight the broader principles that organizations must consider implementing knowledge management practices, emphasizing the importance to evolve a culture that should encourage learning from the failures and sharing their insights, and also continuously improving the knowledge processes. Some more examples can be taken up where the best practices for effective intellectual capital management, that how these companies, they proved, they earned or they scored by effectively managing their intellectual capital. One is, we can take the example of IBM. IBM, it has continuously demonstrated effective intellectual capital management through its emphasis on research and development, patent portfolios and strategic partnerships. It is very famous for leveraging the intellectual assets in order to promote innovations. It has a very positive environment, generated a very positive environment in order to encourage more researches, more development, more maybe strategies within the organization. So IBM's commitment to robust patent strategy has also allowed it to build a vast portfolio of intellectual property, contributing to its competitive advantage in the technology industry. Another is Procter & Gamble. Here, Procter & Gamble is recognized for its effective management of intellectual capital, particularly in consumer good industry. The company has very systematic approach to innovations and knowledge creation. PG, they have been successful in developing and commercializing their new products through collaboration and collaboration in external partners also. And very actively they have been also at the same time managing their intellectual property portfolio, and they are still very successfully doing them. Another good example is Qualcomm. Qualcomm is a leading telecommunication company which has very effectively managed its intellectual capital, particularly in the area of mobile technologies. The company has strategically invested in research and development, that is R&D, and therefore they have resulted into a very strong patent portfolio related to mobile communication. So Qualcomm's licensing business model, which involves monetization monetizing its intellectual property, they have contributed significantly to its financial success and their position in the market, in the global market. You know how you have to legally strengthen yourself by these intellectual assets. Qualcomm is a very good example for that. Another example can be Tesla Incorporation also. I should mention them also here, because Tesla's success in electric vehicle industry is very closely tied to its intellectual capital management. The company's founder, Elon Musk, is known for his expertise in technology and innovation, and all of us know about him. So what happened, that Tesla very strategically, they protect their innovation through patents, while they also make some of their patents open source to encourage industry-wise advancement. That is, it becomes a very open source throughout the industry in order to promote and develop things. So Tesla's actually, they focus on intellectual property, which has played a role in establishing its position as a leader in the electric car market on a global market. One more good example can be shared here at this platform, that is Google Alphabet Incorporation. Actually, Google's success can be attributed in part to its innovative use of intellectual capital. In a very, very innovative or rather dynamic way, they have been using it. The company, what they do is they encourage a culture of creativity and curiosity among its workers or among its people, which leads to, often or most of the time, it leads to the development of groundbreaking products and services. So Google's emphasis on acquiring and integrating the innovative startups such as YouTube and Android showcases its strategic use of intellectual capital through merger and acquisition. So a very novel method, and they are very successfully dominating the market throughout the globe. So with these examples, I think we can understand the importance of proactive and strategic approach to intellectual capital management. Successful companies, they recognize the value of their intangible assets. They protect them through intellectual property strategies and leverage them to derive innovation, market differentiation and sustainable growth at the same time. So, after discussing the knowledge creation and intellectual capital in detail, we now understand the importance of intellectual capital. Intellectual capital may be including the human capital or the intellectual assets. That is how to legally strengthen yourself with your intellectual assets, and also the role of knowledge creation in the growth and development. Now you understand that how you can utilize these tools in order to grow your business, your startups or your organizations. Not only at the starting point, at establishing point, but also at the stage where you want to scale up and develop and flourish. So that is all about intellectual capital and knowledge creation. Thank you so much.